Hello friends and welcome to episode 277 of the Noclip podcast. Bit of a weird one this week, Frank Howley?
Yeah, that's right. This is the first time I've recorded with you in person.
No, it's not, is it?
I think so for the podcast.
That's depressing. You serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, we do hang out. Well, we do collegiately. We are colleagues working in person a pretty decent amount these days.
It feels like at least every few months. I feel like the average is maybe once every 2 months, once every 3 months.
Yeah, Noclip stuff. We're here doing some secret type stuff, so we can't tell you why we're here. We're in beautiful Los Angeles. We're in this sort of Culver City area recording something. Not too far from you, but we're staying in this beautiful Super 8 hotel next door to each other, which was nice. They don't often put us next door to each other. So if one of us is, getting down or listening to some loud music, we'll know about it. What have you learned about me since being in a hotel next to me, Frank?
I forgot they have to wake up super early to record your F1 podcast. You had mentioned that.
Could you hear me this morning?
No, I did not. I think when I woke up, I was like, do I hear anything? I did not hear anything.
I was very worried you might. I was very worried the person above me might.
Oh, yeah.
But then when I woke up, they were already walking around.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like, we're good. I don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about it right now because it's about 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. We're recording half the podcast here. We are going to go, for you Jeremy and nocaps fans, don't worry. They will be here. They recorded their own podcast today, about 30 minutes. They talked about Love Eternal and Scriptorium. So we're going to have them, those featured. Later on, Frank is going to talk about some pinball stuff. He's been recording kind of during this gig, actually, weirdly enough. You've been doing stuff and over the past few weeks. I'm also going to talk about Saros, which I didn't realize until just before recording. The embargo is going to be up by the time this podcast goes live, or at least I think it is. So if it's not, that'll have been edited out, but I'm pretty sure. And first I'm going to talk about Windrose, which is the game I played the most about this past couple of days. So it's not going to be super long. We're actually not sure how much battery's left on that thing, Frank's little recorder, and hopefully it sounds good. If it does, thank Jesse. Thank the good Lord Jesse Garasha, who is still doing awesome job as a producer while also now being a dad of a newborn as well. So we pray at the altar of the J-Man Garasha and of Teddy Garasha as well. Maybe Jay is the Joseph in this scenario, and Frank's gonna apparently every once in a while turn around to turn off the air conditioning, which we can't. Oh, there's a plug actually. You can just plug it out of the wall. Look at that. Hopefully it doesn't set off some sort of alarm.
Thank you, Jesse. Sorry for...
Yeah, thanks for the...
chair scooches and maybe the hum before. Now it should be clean.
Exactly. So anyway, is there anything to talk about before we talk about games?
Battle Pass holders?
Of course. How can I forget them? Charles Atkinson, Brian Baru, Little Toast, Yash, Dwayne the Rock Lobster, Anthony Thomas, Nico Passaterri, It's a Me, Ferrario, Senator Armstrong, Redredge, Harry Flanagan, Juice, Arno, Matt Pearson, Mark Rojas, Quote, Tucker Morgan, David McGarry, Goddison, Sven Hooster, Pez, Bone Mold, John Akers, Uint Nate, Tim Robinson, Forrest Pruitt, Dark Insanities, Jonathan Kremen, Eric Hamilton Schneider, Christoph Fatui, Grizzly Mug, Hammerlad, Zachary Snader, Alex Goucher, George Sekotis, Jacob Godserve, Enthea Jen, James Mad, and Ryson. Thank you to all of the folks over at patreon.com/noclip and patreon.com/noclip2 for supporting the work that we do. You want to talk about pirates?
Yeah. Actually, could I do a quick news update?
Please.
This will be a few days out by the time people listen to this, but this affects me and maybe I don't know if anyone else, but...
Okay, personal Frank Howley news incoming.
Xbox Ultimate Game Pass from $30 to $24. The only casualty is Call of Duty is not included in the service anymore.
Yes.
Which means that everyone was paying $84 more a year for one single game.
For Call of Duty.
That was it. That's the only, they took out Call of Duty and now all of a sudden the service is nearly $10 cheaper.
Which Call of Duty does not cost that much.
No, it's fun. And the last one was not good. I played for an hour and it was not great. So I'm this is a huge win for Xbox fans. Every month I get the $30 bill. It's charged to my PayPal and I always think like I should cancel, but I didn't because Forza Japan's coming out in like a month.
That's what it's called, Forza Japan.
I can't wait for it. But so now I'm like, all right. So I don't know if Xbox has more good news coming. Maybe that's the one thing before everything else collapses. But I'm personally happy about that decision.
It is interesting. I do wonder if there are other people, because I'm with you. I think this is great. I think it's like $22 now. It's like
and then the PC version is like maybe now $14. It's like okay.
Yeah, right. Ultimate Game Pass, which is the one I use because there's a lot of stuff that we end up having to capture. That's like we need 10 minutes of something, from some Xbox Game Studio game, and I'm like, oh well, thank God I don't have to buy that just to record a tiny amount of it. But I do wonder if on the other side of the aisle, there are a bunch of Call of Duty fans who are super pissed. Although they probably don't play a lot of just like random indie games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like it's two separate markets. If you're a Call of Duty fan, you probably buy 3 games a year and you're selling the old one to GameStop. It's like the GameStop power-up rewards. I feel like you're already suckered into other monthly crap. Or you will pay $140 for the collector's edition. I don't think people using Game Pass and Call of Duty hardcore people were usually the same market. I feel like Game Pass, you're a curious gamer. You want to play 100 different games a month, not commit to going prestige in Call of Duty. I would always check out the new Call of Duty, play it for a month, and then tap out. The only reason I played the Call of Duties every year is I had a friend who worked at one of the 10 studios, so I got like discount codes every year. Right. So for me, before Game Pass, the new Call of Duty was always like $40. Yes. So I was never paying full price for Call of Duty. I won't pay full price for it this year. So, and then, it seems like ever since Call of Duty became part of Game Pass, it's sold significantly less every year. Also Call of Duty fatigue. So hopefully this still means Xbox, Microsoft still gets cool games on the service, but this will prevent me from canceling it. So I'm happy.
It's weird how, is this going to, we haven't done research into this. We have been working all day. Are they pulling the old Call of Duties off of it?
No, those are still staying on the service.
Okay. So you still have access to your Snoop Dogg skins?
Yes, that's right. That's Vanguard.
Important. Yeah. You've got all that good stuff. Thank the good Lord for that. I'll tell you that much. Tell us what you think of that in the comments below. I think honestly, I'm kind of surprised they're bringing in, that's kind of a big sweeping change. And the new management has only been in for a few months. Yeah,
I think Jason Schreier reported that like an email or a memo leaked last week where she sent that to all the employees. Like, hey, one thing, I think Game Pass is overpriced. And then this week this got announced. So
there you go.
I don't even know the person in charge, but I like them.
Yeah, Frank's on board. The new era of Xbox has started. I think it sounds smart. I did always feel like the way we talk about Game Pass is that it was like a deal that was too good to be true. I mean, less and less so, the fewer good like Xbox in-house games were coming out, and also the more expensive it was getting. So I think this does a lot. Although it does also feel a little bit like, when somebody who's selling like a piece of hardware, like a television or something, will be like, oh, this costs $2,000, which you were never going to pay for, but like, oh, it's on sale for $1,200, and you're like, what a deal! Even though like that's still an incredible amount of money. You know what I mean? So who knows? Maybe it'll all come out in the wash.
Or what's the other expression? Like cleaning the deck chairs of the Titanic. The ship is already going down. This isn't gonna. I don't know. Is that a pessimistic you are, Frank? No, I like Xbox, so it's like, but I don't mind being self-deprecating. But I'll go down with the ship with Xbox. I'll keep. I've since 2001 or whatever, I've had an Xbox, and so I'll always. Again, I like the Xbox because those are the cheapest used games. Those games go discounted the most. So,
you got Game Pass. You don't have to buy anything anymore.
I know, but like there'll be third-party stuff that you can get super cheap. So anytime if it's like an older game, I'll look PS4 version, Xbox One version. The Xbox One version's always cheaper. Usually.
Will you be, when the Titanic goes down, will you be cleaning the deck chairs, playing the violin? What'll you be doing on it?
I don't know. I'll be still playing Forza Horizon Japan.
There you go. Beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Well, speaking of ships being sunk, let's talk about Windrose. So Windrose is a game that I talked about in one of our Was it? I think
Steam
it was a
Next
Next
Fest.
Fest.
I think
I
so,
think it was.
Demo roundup.
They put out a Next Fest demo, which was pretty big. It was a pretty like decent chunk of that early part of the game. I've played a bunch more since. I've played, I don't know how much, maybe 15 hours or something like that of Windrose. Just to catch you up, Windrose is a survival craft game. Perhaps you have heard of these. You end up on a beach. You are pirate. It is pirate themed. Your ship gets sunk, or galleon. I don't know what pirate words are at the start of the game, and you effectively have to, get your crew back together, get a ship back together, and try and right the wrongs of what happened to you and your crew. The moment-to-moment gameplay is very, very survival crafty. You are chopping down trees. You are killing things for loot. You are finding encampments and killing some animals or killing some baddies and getting all their stuff. There's a bunch of different sort of mini quests to do, but it's very much the loop of collect things to build crafting stations. Those crafting stations allow you to get more complex blueprints, and then you build more complex things, and everything gets more expensive, but then your ability to get stuff gets better, and etc. 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 But I really like, I don't know, there's something that's more, in a way, this feels a bit like, what was that Ubisoft one? Not Black Flag.
Skull and Bones?
Skull and Bones?
That was
Skull and
their
Bones.
pirate adventure, which I never saw gameplay of.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit like what kind of you might hope something like that might feel like, because you can play this with friends too. I've been playing solo. You can play solo offline, which honestly, I think is something I wished a lot more of these online games just let you do, just in case. I think that would be cool. But you can play on private servers. There's a button in the game to let you like go to a place to rent servers, which is cool. You can play on servers. I think you can play with randoms as well. I'm not sure about that actually. It is still in early access, so it got launched in early access. Apparently, I didn't know this. We were at work, we were on that shoot today, and realized that it's sold 1 million copies already. So apparently, it's already blown up. So probably didn't need to be in our Steam Next Fest.
Or that's what tipped it over. People were like, "Oh,
was that us?"
That was yeah. We got all those wish list.
Hell yeah,
ads.
That was us. Yeah. Where's our check, Windrose? Where's our? We need referral links on Noclip. No, we absolutely do not.
Are there like quest givers in Windrose, or how do you find what to do, or is it just like Valheim, where you're just like naturally exploring the world?
The game sort of just has the UI tell you some stuff. You have a couple of ones that your character wants at the start, and then one of the crewmates turns up, and then he directs you to like, we need to find a new ship and we need to get our crewmates back. And then you have to like basically go find a galleon, get enough stuff, get enough crafting resources to rebuild it. Free a bunch of your old crewmates that are in these like cages, like Far Cry style animal cages on these beaches, try and get them involved. And then like pretty soon, I feel like not that far into it, 4, 5, 6 hours, you have your first ship, and then you can upgrade that ship. There's different types of ships. You can get new cannons for them and all that stuff. And then there is an amount of naval warfare that you have to do, but it is sandboxy. Like there's some missions then where, you talk to some people and then they're like, oh, you need to take out this ship or you need to do this, but you can also try and avoid them. But basically, once you get on the high seas and you're able to go to all the other islands that are around, because it's like in the Caribbean somewhere, they mentioned Tortuga, all this stuff. Once you do that, then you start meeting other pirates. You start meeting like, people on the black market. You find there's all these like pirate clans, I guess, which is probably how piracy worked. Like there's, the free fighters of Tortuga or the people of such and such, right? And then they give you quests. And also you can buy reputation with them with some of these items that you pick up, these sort of emblems that you find by killing other pirates. Blackbeard is the baddie in this. So like Blackbeard's pirates are the bad ones that you're trying to kill. And they have like naval blockades in places that you can try and either like, it's fun to like try and get through them or take them out or whatever. The naval combat is not as complicated as I think it is in other games. It's a lot of the same, like, fire cannons forward, fire them left or right. You're trying to like, because boats move weird, right? So you're trying to like hit them on the front and then turn so that you can, while those guns are getting reloaded, you can shoot the other ones. I've had my boat get destroyed, and then it's a pretty easy penalty to get it fixed. And also, I'm 99% sure I kept all of the items that were in my hold, which is the one thing I was worried about. I was like, how extract and shooter is this fucking pirate game. But no, the loop is really good. It looks really good. Like it's like for a crafting game, I think the things that I found the most interesting was its third person. The combat, I think I mentioned in the previous videos, is, I don't want to say soulsy. I've said it already, but it's timing based. So you're parrying, you're trying to find the windows. You have a gun that basically takes out their, what the fuck noise is that?
I think your refrigerator.
The fridge. How dare you? I'm gonna plug the fridge out. Oh my god.
More things keep turning on.
This is gonna. Why is I'm not even using the fridge. Is it okay? Has it shut up now? I don't know which one of these is the fridge. We're gonna keep pulling plugs until something turns off. Or you know what I'll do? Is this gonna fuck with the laptop? Give me a second. Frank, talk about pirates. What do you like about pirates?
They drink. They make up their own laws. They sing songs.
You can sing songs.
Really? There's sea
on the
chants?
boat. You can press a button and it sings a song.
Okay. I always think of internet piracy, like downloading and sharing files. I looked at the Steam screenshots and videos, and there's drowners. Are those like pirate zombies?
Yeah.
What are the enemy mobs?
I turned it off. There we go. Yeah, at nighttime there's like drowned pirates, I guess, that turn up.
Okay.
There's like a mystical, magical element to the game. It happens to you too, your character. There's a reason why it's explained. You're able to like come back from the dead or whatever. And then there's like basically like mirelurks, you know, like crabs that'll just fuck you up. But yeah, you'll find like this. It's neat. Like it does things like you can find when you go mining. The mining happens in particular like sort of outcroppings that you hit a button and you go into them and you can mine for copper ore. And then in those places, you'll find sort of zombie guys. You'll come across, smuggler, like old smuggler places that are like hidden under, grass, and you find them and then you go down and sometimes there's like letters and there'll be like a zombie in there or something. The actual, is it the city of Tortuga? I think it is. I forget. That's like infested. So that's a bigger city with loads of sort of these like, zombie ass sort of drowned pirates around in it. And I think that's where most of the fantastical elements kind of end. But the gun stuff is you have to like craft pellets and gunpowder, and then the gun basically takes down. It's kind of like Pragmata. It's like the gun is the hacking where it takes down shield. Okay. So you can, by blocking, you sort of reduce their shields, by parrying and by striking them back at the right time. And then also the gun will do it too. So like, if you've got a particularly angry warthog coming at you, you can just load a couple of shots of your little fucking, those like, the reloads aren't as bad as like in The Legend of California, but it's that same thing, like a little ball with like, little ball bearing comes out of a gun and hurts them, and then you can hit them with your swords, and you've got different swords. Some swords are two-handed, some are one-handed. So like the combat is, I don't think crafting games often have the most engrossing combat, and this isn't like super detailed, but it's detailed enough that it feels like you have to consider when you go out, okay, what do I have? I'm going to do this mission where I'm going to have to kill like a bunch of pirates. Do I have enough ammo? Do I have, the right, weapon for it? Is my armor high enough? That type of stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So it's like, it's feature rich. There's lots of different things in it. It's really well polished for an early access kind of thing. Its vibes are great. The music is really good. Like it has a really great soundtrack, which I think helps a lot when you're playing a game for hours and hours. Just kind of what those crafting games are like. Yeah, and do you have the price on that? I think it's only
30.
Is it $30? Yeah, it's $30 too. So it's not like a full price game.
I was curious. I wasn't sure if this is like a Korean MMO. Or like where are they? Where's the studios from? It's by Kraken Express. They're from Uzbekistan.
Oh, is that where they're from?
I don't even know, somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, the Uzbeks down in the Urals.
Is Uzbekistan landlocked? How do they know so much about?
That's a good point. Well, I know
combat?
Azerbaijan isn't, because they're right there on the that's the Caspian Sea, right? I don't.
Uzbekistan's Central Asia.
Is it further east?
Yeah, let me
Kazakhstan. See. Maybe they're on the other side of this.
It's southwest of Kazakhstan. No, it's like in between. It's like surrounded by Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. Oh, and Iran is like 2 countries over. Okay, so
does it have water?
There is the Aral Sea, so barely.
URAL.
ARAL.
Okay.
It's not very.
Is it tiny? Is it like a lake?
There's some rivers that go by it.
There's some rivers.
There is a city in Uzbekistan called Jizzax.
Jizzax.
Yeah, Jizzax. Jizzax.
Oh, I thought it was Jizzax. That was I used to have a profile on there.
And then Fargona is some cool names.
It's the most we've talked about Uzbekistan.
Uzbek, I like it.
Pod. Yeah, so fair play.
Yeah, no, this game sounds cool. Again, I've been playing a lot of WoW, so I finally adapted to playing PC games again. But what I do is I have my giant TV, my computer monitor is mirrored to my big TV. I have a little desk, kind of like that, a little standing desk put in front of me. So I've been playing WoW sitting back on my giant TV.
Oh man!
So now I'm like, okay,
you're like that guy in that episode.
Yeah. So now I'm like, all right, I can do this pirate game. I'm curious how the multiplayer stuff works. Is it a thing? Like if I start playing, can my friends join me, drop in?
Yeah.
Is it server based?
So here's so I think I'm pretty sure I can take my level or guy onto a server, because the way that it loads is you start solo and then you pick your thing. So I wonder if you went to start a server, could you just bring that over, or could people hot swap into it? I'm sorry, I should have tested this or looked it up, but like what I will say is the game looks like anything I have wondered, I wonder if you can do this yet, the game has had. Like it's very, modern. The graphic stuff and the controller stuff, it's been pretty good at that. So, it's early access, so I'm sure people will be giving feedback, especially the online players, because they'll probably have a bit more skin in the game, the multiplayer folks. It's cool. It's a neat game. I think, it's not like a reinvention of the genre, but it does feel like a significant sort of half step or step up from a lot of the other ones I've played. In the same way The Legend of California does too. It feels like a bit more polished, a bit more assured. I think a lot of these survival craft sandboxy games were sort of the realm of like the 5 to 10 person team, and these feel like they're made by like 30 to 40 people and come with a degree of pedigree as a result of that. I also think early access is it makes complete sense for these games. I don't think it's necessarily an element of funding. I'm sure that's part of it, but I think that these games, need to be designed with players in them. And so it makes sense for them to get in. So it's less of an early access game maybe than some other early access games are, but we live in the world of post Hades, so what the fuck does early access mean anymore, But it feels like really cool, and yeah, I'm into it. It's cool.
One thing I saw on Steam is there's no pause button if you're playing solo, so you just have to be ready. I guess it's like WoW.
Yeah, that is 100%. Yeah, just like WoW. Yeah. Do you like Stranglethorn Vale?
Yeah, I love it.
This game's just like playing. It's just Stranglethorn Vale, the game.
Yeah, because I was thinking of like
Booty Bay
progression, but I realized it's crafting. So if you kill it, you can just keep killing a boar for their materials, probably, right?
You can. There is a level up. You do level up your pirate. That does allow you to upgrade base skills like your normal sort of agility, dex, strength stuff. And then there is an unlock tree as well. It's pretty big, and they don't really dole it out. I think I'm only like level 5 or 6 or something, and I've played a decent amount of this game. So it's not like it's and stuff does respawn, but there's not loads of them. It's not like, on some of the islands you go to, there's not like a million things, and they are hard to kill. Like nothing in this game is particularly like the dodos maybe on the first island. Uzbekistan, maybe they don't care. Dodos not in the Caribbean. That's not where they're from. But I mean, dodos aren't fucking anywhere anymore, so it doesn't really matter. They were. There's also not, ghost drowned pirates appearing at nighttime. So, what am I talking about?
I'm even looking footage of like sunset. Like it's very saturated and colorful. It's super pretty.
I love how the game looks. Nighttime looks beautiful. Daytime looks great. Sound effects are solid. Music is solid. This does not. Maybe we have found a new genre of geographical game. There's Eastern European jank, right? There's Korean MMO. Maybe Uzbekistan is like a sort of a hybrid, taking the best of both. The sort of like gameplay first, systemic design of Eastern Europe with the polish and crunching your employees, I don't know, of the Thai or Korean genre of video game. I don't know. But it's a good time, yeah. You're interested in playing it, right?
No, this looks cool. Yeah. You can also fast travel, which makes me wonder.
Fast travel is very forgiving.
Is the map predetermined or is it randomly generated?
I actually do not know that. I wonder. there's a lot of like fog of war in this. So
Yeah.
you're going out in your boat and trying to find the islands. You don't really know where they are. But they give you the icons on the map so that you kind of know where generally to go. But the fast travel is smart because you have two boats. You have, first of all, you can build fast travel. They're like these little bell tower things, and you can build them. You can only build a maximum, I think, of like 7 or 9. I forget which one. But you can destroy the ones you've already made and replace them. So, and all you need is like a bell, which are hard to find, but that's how they gate it, I think. And then some wood. And you can basically like craft them anywhere, and it's a new fast travel point. That said, some of the main quest locations like Tortuga or some of the other places have their own fast travel points. So if you get there, like the first time I got up to Tortuga, first thing I did was put a fast travel thing down because I was like, God, that was hard to get here. You know, like in Valheim, you know when it's hard to get to the other islands and you do, and you're like, whew, I got through. First thing I did, and then I realized there was already one there. So I just destroyed the one that I had and I put it somewhere else. Fast travel is instant because it's an online game, right? So they don't like pass time or anything. But if you have your ship, but you also have a smaller boat before you get to the ship, either of those can be used to fast travel anywhere at any point, and you can call those anywhere at any point. So if you can't just like fast travel, I don't believe, if you're just off in the wilderness in the middle of nowhere, but you can if you're on your boat. So what you do is you just run to a piece of water, hit K, and then it asks you which one you want to spawn. And basically, so it's not even like you have to fast travel and your boat's always stuck in a place. You can just have your boat spawn right here, like your galleon. And then you can go somewhere, or you can jump in the galleon and have it fast travel back. So if your stuff so it's very forgiving, which is honestly, I can see how like this, you could do a video between this and The Legend of California about how crafting games deal with fast travel, because water is such a big problem because it's not fun going through water. Like it can be, but like water's slow and the only enemies are like, you know, water's flat. So there's nothing to like hide behind a hill. Water's just water. You can't make it look like a different biome. And the only enemies in this world that are there, like there's no like sea creatures that are hidden under the water, and they're just boats. So like if you were back and forthing all the time on the boat, it would be fucking so annoying. So the fact that you can just spawn your boat somewhere, you know, fast travel somewhere and spawn the boat, done. I've just saved myself an hour or 20 minutes of being in the boat, in the galleon on the sea. So it's a bit hacky that way, you know. In a way, it sort of makes it feel a little less real, I guess, or immersive. But I don't really know what other solution there would be to that. But yeah, pretty cool. Windrose, available now, early access, $30. Thanks, Frank, for looking that up. All right, we're going to be back in a second. We're going to shoot over to our friends in the studio. Jeremy and Nocaps are going to talk about Love Eternal and Scriptorium. And once they're done, we will bring it on back here to talk about Pinball and Saros. See you in about 30 minutes.
Hello and welcome to the Noclip podcast. I think you've already been welcomed to the Noclip podcast by this point, so allow me to welcome you even deeper to the Noclip podcast. It's the only Noclip, or the only video game podcast that's has a podcast in its podcast. I'm joined by the illustrious Nocaps. Nocaps, have you ever done a podcast inside of another podcast?
I can't say that I have. No, I'm pretty new to the singular podcast, so this like podcast-ception is. It's kind of next level for me, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's like when you wake up in a dream and you're still dreaming. Have you ever had that happen, where you like wake up in a dream into another dream?
I don't usually remember my dreams, honestly, so it could have happened.
Really? Like ever?
Like,
I feel like my dreams are so fucking vivid.
I'll remember them like a little bit when I'm still waking up, but like I don't have like a recollection of, oh yeah, that one time I dreamed about this and I went to this whole thing and it just like leaves my memory.
Yeah, it's weird. I have the same thing. Sometimes I'll remember like really vividly a part of a dream that I had years ago, and it scares me because I feel like my brain is like something's fucking wrong with it. Like I'm not supposed to remember it years later. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Although one time when Danny and I were on a trip in France for filming for Noclip, I had sleep paralysis. Have you ever had that happen?
That sounds awful though.
It was so fucking scary. So I had so sleep paralysis. You probably have like heard of. Mm-hmm. You like wake up, but your body like sort of doesn't wake up. So you're like half dreaming, half awake. So I woke up in a hotel room in France and was so disoriented. And for some reason, like, have you heard in sleep paralysis, people have like, they hallucinate like demons and stuff, or like sitting on their chest or in the room or something. So that's like a common part of sleep paralysis, is people think that there's like something in the room with them. And because I was on a work trip with Danny, he was my sleep paralysis demon. So I woke up and I thought he was in my hotel room, and I was like, oh no, am I like late for filming? And he had to like call the manager and like get the key to my room. But he was just standing there ominously in the corner. And then I like woke up and was like, that was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Especially that the demon is your boss. That's like a whole nother level.
that's like worse than the real demon, is like just getting in trouble at work is the scariest thing my brain could come up with. It's like not being mauled by demons is low key compared to that.
Well, speaking of demons,
all right.
I played Scriptorium Master of Manuscripts, which came out last week on the 16th. And in it, I'll get to the demon part in a second, but in it you are, I promise there's a connection. You kind of get summoned to your alleged uncle's scriptorium. We think he's your uncle, but he's not quite sure. It's like this weird setup, but he's like, hello, relative, would you like to work at my scriptorium? And then he kind of disappears in the middle of the night. And then you're visited by what you later find out is the devil, who like signs you into this contract where you have to work at the scriptorium and make a bunch of medieval manuscripts. So it's a weird game. It's basically like...
That sounds straight. Yeah, I don't know anything about this, but it's interesting that like... have you played Pentiment or Incluminati?
Yes, just Pentiment.
Okay, cool. I think it's interesting that... Okay, I haven't played Incluminati either. I just think it's interesting that there's been like a resurgence of this particular like scriptorium marginalia art style out of nowhere. It seems like it's such an odd historical niche, and to see like 3 games that sort of like take that on in the last 5 years or so is interesting.
This is actually by the people that made Incluminati. So it's like, I guess they kind of decided like, hey, we really like this art style, and we have this like tool for making our art, so we'll turn it basically into its own game. But yeah, it's basically this. Got it. That makes a lot more sense. Big old like sandbox kind of art game, and you have all these. You'll get like these orders from like people that live in the town, or like you'll get orders from the king and the queen, and there's all this like kind of drama you pick up on. But each one they'll have you like illustrating some like a storybook or some kind of like royal decree or a whole bunch of different things, and you have all these like basically stickers to decorate it with. So it's really fun, like especially if you actually get into the like creative mindset, I guess. Like you have to kind of be into that, but there's like a lot of good prompts, I would say, to kind of get your creative juices flowing.
This, I'm looking at the trailer as you talk about it. So I'm curious, is there like how is your success like evaluated or gamified? Like is it sort of they just give you carte blanche to make like related images to these sort of prompts, or is there like a thing where they're like, you fucked this one up?
There's like a checklist, basically. Like they'll want like 5 monkeys or whatever, and then they want like you to put these specific like, I guess we'll call them stickers in. So I haven't tried to like submit an artwork that didn't like meet all the requirements, but I guess you could, but you'll get like a little bit of like currency as reward, but it's not really like a win fail kind of thing. It's just about like having fun and making weird art. That's cool.
No, this looks awesome. I'm curious. I was curious about Incluminati when I always say this wrong.
Incluminati.
Jesus Christ. Incluminati. Yes. I always think like the Illuminati, and I can't fucking say it. Is it like a play on that? I haven't
played that one, but yeah.
But that's cool. I'll have to check these out. So how much have you played of Scriptorium?
I played a couple hours. I did probably like 8 or 10 orders. You'll kind of like do 1 order a day, and then you can also like decorate your scriptorium, which is really fun. Like you can buy all sorts of decoration, like plants and like lanterns and bookshelves and stuff. So that's just like a nice little I guess that's kind of like gamifying it, like upgrading your little house. But it's really just like no pressure kind of game where you can, I don't know. I find it to be good for like if I have like a spare half hour or something. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'll just do a couple orders on Scriptorium.
That's cool. I feel like I need more games like that. There's something wrong with my brain where if a game isn't like life or death punishing stakes for some reason, I'm like, something must be terribly wrong. I need more just like chill games where you fucking make cool art. Did you, you were like not part of the team when we talked about Pentiment for 4,000 hours on the podcast. I'm curious, can I like as a sidebar ask you your thoughts on Pentiment? Because I really like that game.
Loved it so much. Like I really didn't know what to expect going in, but it's kind of like the art style that drew me in, just like with Scriptorium. But I loved how like there's like, you know, the main story and everything, but like the best parts of it were just kind of going around and talking to every single person and like getting involved in like the drama and stuff and just like living as like a medieval person. And obviously like the murder thing was really fun, but I liked all like kind of the little details and getting to know the townspeople.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it weirdly enough. I don't have a Switch 2, but I was watching people play Tomodachi Life, the new Tomodachi Life. And I was thinking about how like it's interesting. It's obviously more of like a sandbox social RPG, but I kept thinking of Pentiment because I feel like a lot of the fun with a game like that is getting into like weird social situations and then just sort of like, I don't know what the word is, like just sort of like conceptualizing these awkward, almost like a sitcom, like the battery, like the narrative battery of a sitcom is like, oh, that's awkward because like this person knows this thing and then this person walks into this situation where they shouldn't be. And I kept thinking about like Pentiment with Tomodachi Life, and I was like, I wish there was more like games about social faux pas or something, or like the social tension of things, because that's what I find most interesting about sandbox games is you know, like even like something like Kenshi, where it's about like, you know, have you ever played Kenshi?
It now.
It's a sandbox RPG that's more about like having a base in the desert and sort of like survival and stuff. But I always wished that there was like, I want the sandboxing that I'm interested in as a sandbox RPG player is like being a bumbling fool who like wanders into social situations they shouldn't be a part of. So Pentiment was, it's funny because like games are so much about like, I would never, you know, be able to shoot a machine gun at Nazis. Like that's putting me in a situation I would never be in is interesting. But for some reason, like as like a socially awkward person having like a video game version where it's like, I could be like awkward with no stakes, the ultimate fantasy.
I feel like that's kind of funny. A part of like Kingdom Come Deliverance too, depending on like what situations you get into. I haven't played the second one, but for the first one, definitely. Yeah,
no, that was definitely something I liked about the second one, was just being like, you know, like a horse manure covered idiot. And everyone's like, what are you fucking doing? Like, why do you stink? And why don't you have pants on? You're just like, I don't know. There's something very, it's like being in like the RoboCop suit, but for like social awkwardness or something, where you're just like walking around invincible as people point and laugh at you for being in your underwear. Anyway, sorry, that was a fucking tangent. Do you have any other thoughts on Scriptorium? It seems really, really cool.
I don't have any other thoughts. No. Yeah, it is cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna check this out. I need more chill games in my life where you just fucking vibe in the Scriptorium. The other game that I wanted to talk about today is Love Eternal, which I gather you are working on a video that has something to do with Love Eternal as well. So I just played a bunch of it last night and this morning, so I'm coming in hot here. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts before I get into it, because I'm dying to talk to like anyone who's played this game.
Oh, no one else has played it like from the podcast?
I don't think so. I played the demo and we talked about it on the podcast maybe like a couple months ago, or maybe it was for, I don't know, it might have been for one of the Next Fest videos or something. But I feel like Jesse is the only other person on the team who would be fucking psyched about this, and he's probably playing this with a baby on his lap right now.
So I loved it. Like right from the beginning, it has like a really creepy vibe. Like it's this like you're like transported from your like dinner table to this like dilapidated castle, and then you have to do all this like super tough platforming. But I mean, obviously, like you have to like a tough platformer, but like the thing that sets it apart is having those like story moments like interspersed in between. That's like kind of your reward for like getting through the really tough parts. But yeah, definitely like the ending is really cool. I'm obviously not going to spoil it for you or anyone else, but the story like goes some cool places.
That's cool to hear. Yeah, it's very like it's like domestic horror in a really interesting way. Like tonally and narratively, it reminds me more of something like Homebody or something, or like it's Silent Hill adjacent more than a lot of platformers. Whereas I feel like platformers as a genre are usually very cartoony, even when they're very sincere. Like like I think about like Super Meat Boy is obviously not doing any like sincere narrative heavy lifting, but even something like Celeste that is like is doing it in a very sort of like cartoony way. And then to have this just do like gritty, weird, like scratchy pixel horror is really cool and interesting.
Yeah, it's very ominous. Like in my video, people will see like I'm kind of have Celeste and Love Eternal like paired together. But yeah, Celeste is very like bright, colorful, happy, climb the mountain. And then like there's the story moments about like kind of getting about like having anxiety or whatever. But this is just like completely ominous, like from the start. And I feel like having that extra layer of a mystery over the whole thing, like what is going on, just like adds to the like the tension that you get with all the tough platforming.
Yeah, it is like it's like a powerful motivator for me to have sort of the narrative thrust be gated behind difficulty. I think that like I said earlier, like my brain it works in a way where if a game is really difficult, it feels very inherently motivated to me because I'm like, I should be able to overcome this. Like this is made to be overcome, so I should just like bash my head against the wall. But having like a narrative thrust to that makes it like I don't want to do this just for sort of like intrinsic reasons. I also am just like curious about this world and uncovering a mystery. I feel like that's one of the strongest motivators for me in any game, is just like if you create the most basic mystery and make it a little interesting, then I'll move mountains to see what's going on with it or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I love a good mystery. Like just some like thing, like some door, like big door that you have to figure out what's behind it or like whatever it is, like not having all the pieces at the beginning and just needing to know like what's going to happen, I feel like would get me through games that are like difficult or that are kind of like janky or like whatever it is. It's definitely a strong motivator for me.
Yeah, it's also a good motivator for people who aren't like me, like people who don't just like to play hard games because they're hard or something. There is definitely a level of that for me when I play games like this, or I don't know. I feel like that's why I initially got into Dark Souls and Demon Souls, is someone was like, oh, this is like the hardest game. And there was a part of me that was like, I can't be that fucking hard. But I feel like it's like a healthier version of that, when it's like, oh, I just want to like know like narrative information. I interviewed Raph Koster last year, he was the director on Star Wars Galaxies. He worked on like Ultima Online and a bunch of sort of like legendary RPGs. And he has, in one of his books, he's written a bunch of books about like game design and like the theory behind game design. And he has this idea of the horizon that I've mentioned it a million times. I don't know if I've mentioned it since you joined the pod, but it's this idea that like there's a possibility horizon in game design, and that as long as the player cannot perfectly model in their mind predictively what's over the horizon, then they'll walk through the desert slowly. They'll do like the sloggiest slog. They'll do like anything. They'll go up against difficulty or tedium or boredom or anything in order to like see a new type of experience that the game promises them. But that like games lose their power as soon as a player feels like they're like, I feel like I probably know what's around the corner. And I feel like you can do that in ways that are systemic, like seeing new enemies and seeing new biomes and characters and stuff. But I feel like narrative is such a powerful way to do it, because it could be anything. Like it could be anything that the developer decides. I feel like Melos Hantani wrote about this, that like when it's a bespoke moment that the developer wrote, it's like a systemic emergent thing that it can emerge out of nowhere because the developer can just like invent anything. It could just be like a fucking guy around the corner who's made of tomatoes, and you're like, it doesn't make any fucking sense, but it absolutely surprised me. So I feel like that's why just like a basic mystery in games is interesting to me, because the developer can just like put a box there and be like, I promise there's something interesting in here. Why don't you fucking like play the hardest game ever to find out what it is?
Yeah, that's really cool, like way to put it. Because there's definitely been times that I'm playing a game and then I don't finish it because I know it's just gonna be the same thing, and then you're gonna do this like in the desert or the volcano area, and it's just like gonna be like the same thing. But I mean, you're definitely gonna like the ending of this game because it switches things up. Like it's really cool. So definitely finish this game if you like things that are unexpected.
I will. Yeah. No, I'll probably play it. I'll probably play it after we end this call. What? How long did it take you to beat it? I'm curious.
It wasn't that long. 4.3 hours, and I was stuck on one level for like half an hour maybe.
I got super cocky. I was playing the whole first area, and I was like, "This is one of those easy games." And then I immediately hit a puzzle that fucking ruined me, and I was like, "Oh no, this is what happens when you get too comfortable in like a difficult platformer."
It's so good because like it's so simple. You can like jump, you can flip, and then you can get like a gem that gives you another flip, and like that's all there is to it. But there's like, it doesn't like get old like throughout the game. I don't know. They did a lot with just that like simple flip mechanic.
Yeah, that's something I was wondering. Also, I did a fucking terrible job introing this game because you're right that we never explained how you actually play this game. I am glad you explained it, and I fucking didn't just go like, yeah, it's like a creepy platformer and say no more. Yeah, I was curious if they were going to add more mechanics. I feel like it was sort of interesting to me, the idea that it could go the entire game length with this sort of simple set of mechanics, because that is one of the strengths of Celeste as well, is that they like sort of add stuff by the end of the game, but I think it's really just like there's like a double dash near the end of the game, and it has sort of like narrative conceit behind it. But I find it very inspiring when games just hard commit to like a very limited set of tools and do as much as they can with that. Like yeah, I can't remember, did you play OO?
Yeah, I did. I played that.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that game to me was like, I don't know, it just doing so much with so little, I think is sort of like the peak of game design. That's like something that I really admire as like an aspiring game designer, is the ability to create something simple and resist the temptation to be like, all right, now if we add like, if there's like a skill tree and then there's like fucking romanceable NPCs, it's like, then it'll get interesting. And it's like, no, fucking, you have to like pare back, and like everything can be made interesting if you like explore sort of like the bounds of its possibility or whatever.
Yeah, every time I see a skill tree, I'm just like, here we go. It's one of those kind of games. Like, yeah, honestly, like just short games that are like 5 hours or less, that just you finish them and then you feel good about it. Like, so much better than a drawn out thing that you stop caring about halfway through.
Yeah, it's tough. I really like, I feel like when I was much younger, I really liked grander sort of experiences like that. And now it's like, it's very hard to, unless an experience really grabs me, unless I feel like this is like this is a generational game that I need to play, that I need to like spend, double digit hours on. It's very hard for me to sort of like cognitively remove myself from the little voice in the back of my head that's like, did you, you could be like, you need to like fucking do your taxes, bro. You're 35. I'm like, no, wait, hold on. I'm fucking, my dexterity is at 37. Give me a fucking minute here.
Yeah.
Cause there was like, I'm fucking Diablo 2 was one of my favorite games growing up, and like it has a skill tree, and there's a part of my brain that is programmed to really enjoy just like seeing the fucking skill tree progress. But yeah, it's difficult to justify these like 50, 100 hour games.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely does something to your brain, like knowing, you kind of know like that you're in for like a bigger game that's gonna, I don't know, take up more of your time and hopefully be good. But like, I feel like I've just played too many big games that were just big for the sake of being big, and like it just ended up being a slog. Yeah. And so now I'm like, it's a lot harder for me to get into that.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. It's like, it's not even that the game is long. It's that like when I play games that are huge, it often feels like I'm sort of, a lot of that time is like padding, or that I'm not like immersed, that I'm sort of like going between moments of these like sort of high moments of like novelty or intrigue. And then between those are just like large valleys, these like troughs of sort of like sameness or grindiness. Yeah, I feel like a big part of it is like, I think about this all the time. I feel like if I was independently wealthy, like if I was just rich as fuck and I never had to work again, and I feel like then I could enjoy like a big grindy game, because I'd be like, every time I was like 15 hours grinding in a dungeon, I'd be like, who fucking cares? Like, what? I don't have to go to like work tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. There's like, I'm sort of being facetious, but there is like I feel like there is like a real serious underlying mechanism where I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's not that I'm wasting my life. It's that I'm like, I'm going to like turn 40 and be like, oh, I shouldn't have played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I could have fucking, like, those 100 hours, I could have been like learning a skill or something.
Yeah, but
I
would
don't know.
you have
There's like a part of my brain that's afraid that I'll like
learned a skill instead of play a game?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty type A. I feel like when I'm not working, I basically do nothing but game dev. There's like, I'm like, but I mean, that is what I like to do. Like, it's not like I am like, oh, my other job, I got to like clock in at the game dev mines or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I like to, what other hobbies do you have besides like playing games? I'm curious.
I want to get back into rock climbing, and I said I was going to go this week, so we'll see about that. But I kind of have been trying to get back into like drawing and sketching and like painting, because that's something I used to do like in high school and college, like on and off, just to do something that is not on the computer, because like any other hobby I would have would just be doing something on the computer, like going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole or like whatever, or trying to like learn something, but it's still just watching YouTube videos or like reading articles or whatever. So yeah, just trying to do more stuff that's completely offline, which is tough, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I feel the same way. I wish I like, game dev is my hobby, but it's the same thing where it's like, because it's like my hobby, my passion, and also something I would like to turn into like another job or whatever. It's like I all of my fucking time is spent in front of a computer, unless I like make myself go for a hike or whatever. I wish there was like, I want like I don't know what you do. I like a terminal, like it's not a computer, and it cannot access like YouTube or the internet. It just is for like art, like an art computer. But I don't know. I can't like buy another I need like another computer here that I like pivot.
Don't have it connected to the internet.
Not for, yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the problem. I think maybe it's not computers. It's just the fucking internet or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like an endless hole of like distraction and little trinkets and novelties to distract me.
Yeah, but it's like, what else am I gonna do?
That's cool.
I don't know. Like, I always come back to it. Like, I can't escape. Like, I'll be trying to.
I know it's tough too, because it's I like fucking reading and stuff too, but it's like, I don't know. There's like something that like I need to just like force myself to be more okay with the friction of because when I decide I want a book, I'm like, oh well, I have to like go to the library to get it, and the library doesn't have it, so I have to like order it on Amazon, and then I have to wait 3 days for it. And I feel like my brain is so attuned to like internet speed of things that I'm like, oh, I'll just like read a PDF, and then I'm just reading a fucking book on my computer. It's like the computer has become too convenient a solution for everything.
Yeah, I wish some days.
I feel like I just need to go live in the woods.
I was gonna say, I wish that I just worked in a medieval scriptorium, you know, just drawing or writing all day, even though it was definitely not a nice time. Probably get eye strain, cramps, probably cold in there, but no internet.
Yeah, it probably sucked, but it was probably kind of awesome. Like, that's the thing is like, I feel like I need like external, like computers are so efficient that it's hard for me to convince myself that I shouldn't be spending this much time on the computer. I need like an external force. I need like there needs to be like a government grant where you get like $1,000 a month for a month not spent on the computer or something.
That would definitely get me to get off the computer. If I get paid to
I'm going to run for Congress. This is my platform. And everyone who fucking disconnects from the internet, if your screen time is under 30 minutes a week, we'll send you a check.
I wonder how popular that will be. Like, would people be like, this guy's crazy? Or would people be like, you know what? That sounds nice. Getting off the internet.
I feel like it would be the cheapest government program ever because nobody would take advantage of it. Because I feel like everyone just fucking has too much screen time. So it would be like a fake premise where I'm like, everyone would vote for it because they'd be like, yeah, I would take advantage of that. But then no one would.
And you could keep all that money for yourself. And then you can play your giant RPGs and not have to worry.
And then I can play fucking Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 without any guilt in my fucking mansion of gold up in Washington, D.C. This is the long con. See, now we've got it figured out. Oh, my God. All right. Well, I know we're not supposed to go too long because I gather this is part of a larger podcast. But is there anything else you wanna chat about today? Any other games you've been playing or things on your mind or whatever?
I have been playing Pragmata after Danny and Frank talked about it, which has been really, really good. And it's not that long, so like it doesn't have all that like open world bloat kind of stuff that we're talking about. So it's been nice to like play like a really like high quality, big budget kind of game that's like doesn't really have any filler in my opinion. But
yeah, no, it looks really cool. I really want to play it. I feel like whenever there's a big AAA title, I usually wait for like a game of the year. I'm very late to triple. I'm like the fucking, I don't know. I just like wait until everyone else has finished a game and then play it and be like, have you heard about this Pragmata? And it's like 2027 by the time I get around to it.
I mean, that's a good strategy.
Yeah, what would you compare it to? Yeah. What is it? Does it like remind you of like, I feel like I see shades of other games I've played in it, but I'm curious what it reminds you of.
I mean, there is like some of that like Resident Evil kind of like backtracking or like unlocking areas and then you can go back and whatever. I mean, there's also some Dead Space too, like the space version of Resident Evil 4 or whatever, but I don't like all things considered, I feel like I haven't played that many like big action type of games that are like, you know, that people have been talking about like forever. Like I was playing like Wii games growing up, so like really I've only played like, I don't know, like some Bethesda games and like some Rockstar games. So like I feel like I don't have like that many like good comparisons. Like it definitely feels like a mix of like a bunch of stuff that's kind of hard to place for me personally.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I honestly think that's for the best. I feel like the less like comparisons you make between a thing you're enjoying and other things, the more you can kind of just appreciate what it is on its own. What other survival horror games do you like? I feel like I haven't had a chance to talk to you about survival horror games, but that's kind of like one of my favorite genres.
I started getting into it in like 2023 maybe, or like whenever the remake of Resident Evil 2 came out, or like a year after that. So that's the first one I played, and then I played through I played through every Resident Evil game except 5, 6, and 7. But then I really liked Crow Country, which is like Resident Evil. I haven't played any Silent Hill or Silent Hill likes. So the big thing that I like, so if you have any recommendations, are like the puzzles and like I've also played Signalis too. That's a big one. But like puzzles and just like fully exploring an area and like finding new like shortcuts or whatever, like Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah, if you like Signalis, you should definitely play Silent Hill 1 and 2 at the very least. 3 is also really good. 4 is so interesting, but it gets so sloggy in the back half. There's a lot of sort of like revisiting the same place over and over.
Would you recommend?
I mean, Silent Hill 2.
The remake of it or the original of Silent Hill 2?
Of 2? I would recommend the original, but I guess it depends on your personal taste. I would say start with the original, and I think the utility of having, or the value of having the remake exist, is that I think there are people who don't like old survival horror games, and I think for those people who would fire up Silent Hill 2 and be like, this is a piece of shit, it's cool that there's another version of Silent Hill 2 that they can enjoy. But I think that the 2 remake loses some of the like there's like a real cinematic feel to like a lot of the fixed camera stuff. And so even though it feels clunkier and sort of more dated, I think that the original version is like more to my liking. It feels more sort of like, I guess like cinematic is the only word, but I feel like that doesn't really communicate what's interesting about it. There's like an intentionality to the semi-fixed camera.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like because I played Resident Evil 2 remake, and then I played the first one, which is like, I guess it's not the original, but it's like a remaster or whatever. So it's still like the old clunkiness, but it made it so much scarier. Like the fixed cameras, like Resident Evil 1 was so scary. But yeah, I'm not afraid of a little bit of little tank controls.
All right, cool. Now, if you liked the one remake, you're talking about the one that's like it's more similar to like the GameCube one, right?
Yeah, it was like 2015 or something. It's like whatever's on Steam.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's probably like just a Steam port of the GameCube one. I honestly like I'm a fucking infamous remake hater, and I feel like the Resident Evil 1 remake is like one of the only good remakes ever. I think it's like, I don't know. I like the original Resident Evil 1, but I'd prefer to play the remake. It looks fucking fantastic, and it plays almost the same. I would also recommend, have you played Homebody before? It's really good. It was made by a bunch of the crew over at who work for Game Grumps. They also made Dream Daddy. But Homebody, I think, is one of the most underrated survival horror games
I don't
ever.
even know if I've ever heard of this.
It's like criminally slept on. It is I would describe it as like a sort of like a 80s slasher film, but like David Lynch and Silent Hill influenced or something. It's very, very weird and surreal, and sort of like it's disarming. It has this sort of like charming look to it that makes it's like almost like Pixar-y or something, but it's legitimately like disturbing and weird and scary, and it touches on like pretty heavy themes about like abandonment and alienation and OCD and stuff. I really, really like it a lot.
All right, it's wish listed number 1076 on my wish list.
You'll get to it sometime in the next 20, 30 years or so.
That's a problem.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I don't know. I feel you. The backlog is immense and weighing on my shoulders. Cool. Well, keep me posted on whenever you play survival horror games. That's my jam. So definitely let me know whenever you check them out. And Silent Hill 2, like Silent Hill 1 is amazing. I would say go for the original Silent Hill 2. And if you like it, play Silent Hill 1 maybe. But yeah, awesome. All right, cool. Well, I will wrap it there because I know that the boys over in Southern California are going to do their own little thing, I gather. So I won't go on and on. But thank you, Nocaps, for joining me for this little short pod.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, Frank. What did you think of Love Eternal and Scriptorium?
Oh my gosh, Jeremy and NoCaps have sold me on both. I avoid those type of games, but I might give it a shot.
Yeah, I thought what Jeremy said about the game that he played was really controversial. I was really surprised by that. Yeah, incredible reporting by both of them. Amazing that they managed to pull that off, considering the terrible tragedies that have also befallen them. It was great that they came out and talked about that on the podcast. It was really heartwarming and eye-opening. We haven't a clue what they talked about, but we know what we're going to talk about. First off, pinball. Frank, you have become you told me a story earlier. You were in a bar and there was like a couple sitting down and you were in the corner with your buddy going like, look at the wood paneling. This was painted. Painted. There's only 100 of these made. You have, in the matter of weeks, become a pinball nerd.
Yeah. So I finished the Japan video, which is like for, 2 or 3 months, I was obsessing over racing cabinets and arcade racing games. Then I got my racing wheel. I was like, awesome, cool. And, I was going to go to Vegas for all the WrestleMania stuff. It's also why my voice is still kind of torn because I was screaming the entire 4 days there at all these wrestling shows. But because I was going to go to Vegas, it was like, oh, the pinball museum's there. Oh, I should do something about pinball. Because a month, I feel like this all happened so fast, but about a month ago, my friend Jared, who runs Cheap Ass Gamer, on the weekends when there's no deals to announce, he goes all across Austin, Texas and plays every pinball machine. So on his Instagram, every weekend is just him setting high scores and things like that. And he's always like, hey, Frank, I played the new pinball game. I'm like, all right, that's nice. But I kind of like, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And like every time Stern announces a new pinball machine, he's like, Frank, look, John Wick. You like John Wick? I'm like, all right, whatever. Evil Dead, all right, whatever. They announced a Pokemon pinball machine. And this is out, so people can play it. People already have played it. But I saw the Pokemon thing. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I'm interested because Pokemania is also a thing that's like kind of back again.
Yeah. With
Pokepia, trading cards, this whole insane market. Like Pokemon's never kind of, I don't know. For different demographics, Pokemon comes and goes, but Pokemon now is like very, very hot and has been hot for years. But I was like, oh, Pokemon pinball. Okay, that's cool. Also because it's a pinball machine based on a Japanese property, which also happened with Godzilla, which is also a hot machine. But I was like, okay. So I think even in advance of me going to the Vegas Pinball Museum, I wanted to go check out a local pinball place with a friend to play Pokemon pinball. I did that and I was like, okay, this is cool. There's something here. I mentioned it to Danny. I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast, but it's like, I might do something on pinball. And you seem charmed by that. So I was like, all right. So yeah, and just a few. Oh yeah, and also before my Vegas trip, I went to the Rancho Santa Margarita Library and I borrowed and read. It was called like The History of the Silver Ball, whatever. There was a graphic novel about the history of pinball. So I read that entire book, and now it's like, oh my god, I need to go play all these pinball machines. So pinball, as a kid, like when my dad would take me to arcades, there'd be like any crappy movie in the 90s, like Lethal Weapon 3, Stargate. Stargate's not bad, but you know what I mean? Anything in the 90s had a licensed pinball machine. So to me, pinball always had that old memory of like just cheesy crap in the corner of the arcade. No one gives a shit. These days, though, Stern, which is like the long-standing, the OG, the only pinball machine that survived the crash in the year 2000. Now there's a few other companies, but Stern has always been there. Stern, in the same way DDR has updated their stuff, you can track your achievements. Same thing with all the racing games. There's a Stern pinball app, and with that app, you can track achievements, your high scores, add leaderboards with friends. Pokemon is on that, so now I'm like, okay, there's a reason to go to play pinball. It tracks your stuff, and so I'm kind of, I don't know, it's like the iceberg thing. Finding out Pokemon pinball was a thing, and then uncovering this massive, insane community.
You also showed me that app that was like
Pinball Map.
Yeah, the Pinball Map. That was crazy.
So yeah, in the same way I try to hunt down DDR machines or racing game cabinets, I've also downloaded the app Pinball Map, which shows you, and I encourage anyone in the world, go on Pinball Map. You can either do it on the web browser, on the phone, and look in your area and see if there's any pinball machines. Because I had to do that to find Pokemon Pinball. There was a place in Santa Ana, Mission Control, that had it. And now that we're up in the current area we're at, I'm like, oh, at night, where can I go? So even last night, where my friend lives, you'll find pinballs in the weirdest areas. Up near Van Nuys, where my friend is, there's a chain of 2 restaurants. It's all you can eat. It's like Gogi, all you can eat Korean barbecue and pinball, which is an insane combination. It's a Korean barbecue restaurant, but there's also pinball machines. I think the idea...
How sticky are those fucking...
So one of the restaurants has a sign that says no yogurt in the pinball room. So that, which is very weird, but it's specifically like
prison lingo.
I think the idea behind it, and it's the same thing with barcades, is like, okay, come put your name in at the Korean barbecue. While you wait, go play our pinball machines.
Right, yeah.
Because the pinball machines at this Korean barbecue place are priced kind of cheap.
Okay.
But it's what my friend Jared does. Like, I just go to the barcades. I never order a drink. I just play pinball. I don't fucking care.
You guys did do that last night.
Yes. We went to a place in Burbank called Pinball Pizza, and we walk in and say hi to the guy who's waiting to take our pizza order, and we just immediately start playing pinball. As I'm playing pinball, the guy's like, hey, we got a menu. Like, the guy did not like that we were like, and after we played pinball, it's like, you want to order food? No, thanks. And we like, I don't know if that's a crass thing to do, but it's like, I'm research mode. I'm in research.
Pinball on the
It's Pinball Pizza, which is not a bad place. I'm sure the pizza
was it
great.
Pizza Pinball or Pinball Pizza?
It's Pinball Pizza.
Okay, yeah,
so,
sure. Like,
and they had cool machines. So yeah, like even in Santa Ana on Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, went to this barcade, didn't order any drinks, just played pinball. So it's actually not that expensive of a hobby,
right? If
you're just going to all these barcades and restaurants that happen to have pinball and just partake in the pinball. But yeah, the thing with pinball that really fascinates me, it's the most American game. The hub of it is Chicago. I've been doing all these projects on Dance Dance Revolution, racing. You know, I'm always obsessed with Japan. But I'm probably not going to Japan again until maybe August or October, down the line, only a few months. But so I'm like, all right, what can I do locally that is still encouraging me to leave my house that will still be cool? And again, I'm also very flattered that the DDR and racing video did well. So I'm like, oh, I know if I go out and about and make this pinball thing, this will be cool. But yeah, it's kind of this, like, my friend made the joke of like, we're pinball chasers. Like there's something so fascinating that you can find. Like a random example is like Judge Dredd. There's like one Judge Dredd machine in Southern California.
Oh, wow.
But the idea that this like 30-year-old pinball machine based on a comic book that was made to also market an upcoming Sylvester Stallone movie, a machine still exists, and you can go to one dive bar in like Riverside and play it.
And you can find it on that app.
And you can find it on the app. You can search the app by like pinball games. There's an Ultraman pinball machine. The two closest places is either up in Oregon or Osaka, Japan.
Oh, wow.
So like there's a company called Jersey Jacks based in New Jersey. They do Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw, Beetlejuice, all these horror themed, but they're on the East Coast. So shipping it to West Coast America is so expensive that there's no Texas.
Of course, yeah.
The closest Texas Chainsaw Massacre machine is in Texas. So it's like even in Southern California, there's kind of a barcade scene. There's a pinball scarcity a little bit,
right?
And even on Reddit, on the pinball Reddit, there was a thread that was like, what are the most notorious pinball deserts? Like, what are states where there's 100 miles of no pinball?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the pinball map in Chicago,
Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska maybe. I asked my friend. I think there's Anchorage has it, but not
really.
But Chicago is the hub of pinball, so there's a billion pinball places. So yeah, again, I'm just kind of starting into it. I want to read another book on it. I want to interview like operators, pinball leagues, or people playing it. But yeah, my brain is just loaded with 10,000 facts about pinballs. But again, it's kind of another major thing of it is just, unlike any video game, which you can emulate, you can like even retro games, you can emulate it. You can literally copy ROM files or Steam digital distribution. Any in the world can right now play Windrose. If you want to play a Judge Dredd pinball machine, you have to go to that bar in Riverside. You have to go to the Las Vegas Pinball Museum. Like these are games that are one of a kind. I told my friend Spencer, there's a game I played at the Las Vegas Pinball Museum called like Big Melon. No, it's called Whoa Nelly Big Melons.
Wow.
And that
title paints a picture.
Yeah,
I can basically imagine what the key art looks like.
There's like a farmer girl.
Yes,
she's
exactly.
carrying big
like
melons.
like a black and white shirt, plaid shirt.
Tied.
Denim. Yeah.
And there's like a dog with its tongue out, the old man with his eyes boggling, a creepy hillbilly farmer, and they're all staring at this girl's melons. There's only 4 of those machines ever made.
Wow, I wonder why.
Yeah, and one is
these predominantly go in places where children were.
One is in Anaheim, one's in Las Vegas. I didn't look up the other 2. But the idea that these machines are almost one of a kind.
Yeah.
I played at Pinball Pizza in Burbank, California. I played heavy metal, and the guy was like, "Yeah, there's only 100 of those made."
Right.
That seems so. These are the rarest. I mean, video. It's somewhere there's screens, but these are games, and a lot of the video games, high scores, arcade stuff. Pinball places existed before arcades, and then the explosion of arcade games in the 80s, arcade machines came and dominated pinball places. Right. Then it was split half pinball, half arcades. Then the arcade market grew, pushed pinballs out, and now we're kind of having this resurgence of barcades, and kind of this retro nostalgia wave, also parents getting their kids into it, which is why Pokemon Pinball exists. It's also an easier machine, so kids can get into pinball. Like Stern, these current, like a lot of the machines in the 90s, I was joking a lot with friends, but the term is drain your balls quick. So that's literally the term.
I get it because of the balls.
Yeah.
Pinball. Yes.
So if when it goes down the middle, it's your ball drain. If you start a round of pinball and like if you lose your ball within the first like 10 seconds, there's a ball save light.
Yeah,
there's a mercy rule. But operators can also disable that feature. Operators can also adjust the tilt sensor.
Right.
So it's kind of like slamming in racing games are using the bar in DDR. Tilting or nudging is a controversial thing. If you're an arcade operator, you don't want people banging your machine because that's going to wear it down. But if you're a player, it is kind of allowed, even in tournament play, to nudge the machine a bit to save your ball or to get it in the right area or to extend like a bumper thing. And so operators, there's a literal physical thing in the machine, a mechanism, a tilt sensor, where if it goes, it'll hit a mechanism and flash the system. Tilt. Yeah, and sometimes machines will give you a warning. Sometimes it'll immediately turn off. And
dude, I remember playing Microsoft Pinball. If you hit spacebar, I think you could do a tilt. Like that's how part of the game it has been. Yeah,
it's built in, and so that's the thing I've asked. Like, is that allowed? And some people, even in tournament play, will like some games will let you have one tilt. So they'll
Right.
do it, and then that's like their strike. And it's like, oh, but that's part of it. So there's so many layers to it. But and then I mentioned like old cabinets are literally hand painted, like a custom guitar. And I think it's so insane that you can go to like a laundromat, and in the corner, here is this insane game that's maybe worth $10,000 that people just don't realize is sitting there that you can play for like 50 cents. So it's this thing that's always been there, but kind of ignored, but it is having a resurgence that I'm kind of endlessly fascinated by. So kind of like the DDR thing, it might be a thing I just might track over the next few months. I just want to go to as many hole-in-the-wall places, talk to people and play. And I'm sure, I feel also like, even I was like looking into it, a lot of like Giant Bomb people and former Giant Bomb people are super big pinball heads.
Bacalauer, Gersman.
Jeff Bacalauer, Gersman. You were telling me Ed McMillan is a big pinball.
Ed has a great collection. He's trying to get me into it, but it's like a little bit. I'm not making that, eugenics money. I don't know if I can be getting some of those, but he was telling me about, I asked him actually in our interview, I think it was, what would be a good one to get. And I think he told me it was like, there was like a Monty Python one that like apparently, I need to tell you about this. Apparently like, who's the main character? The SNL lady who did that 30 Rock show. What's her name again? Tina Fey did some voices for.
Oh yeah,
like back before she was famous.
Kevin Smith does voices in the Dungeons and Dragons machine.
Right,
like
yeah.
it's
this is before she was famous.
Oh,
this
I
was
didn't
like
know that.
yeah. As far as I know, anyway.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And up in Sebastopol, which is quite close to where we are in Petaluma, they have a new barcade. It's been open for a couple of years, I think. Joey Famelli, our good friend, who
he's on pinball,
filmed a bunch of stuff. He shot a documentary up there, a little short one for himself about pinball stuff. He's big into sort of pinball stuff. He doesn't own any, I don't think, but he likes pinball. But that place is amazing. It's got like 40 really well curated, beautifully kept machines. Like we've had birthday parties and hung out there, and me and my daughter played some. She never played pinball before, and like you said, like a lot of the tables are sort of like there's a bunch of ones for movies and stuff that are like catered towards children more so, a little bit easier, a little bit more bang for your buck, TV screens showing the movies and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I'll briefly talk about, first of all, actually, if people in the community are big pinball heads, please stick your, thoughts in the comments below, what Frank should be focusing on, podcast@noclip.video, spam us on the Discord. We'd love to hear your insights into the world of pinball. And then Saros came out or is coming out in a week or so. I've only played a couple of hours of it. This is the latest game from Housemarque, the creators of Returnal, and then prior to that, sort of the Swedish, sort of bullet hell scene. Can you look them up and give me a list of names? I always forget my brain is mush at the moment.
Yeah, and I did look it up. Saros does come out April 30th.
April 30th.
But yeah, they've done Returnal. And they have like arcadey digital games. Matterfall, Nex Machina, Alienation, Super Stardust, Resogun was a big one.
Resogun, yeah.
Outland, Dead Nation.
Yeah, I think they're from the old, like super old Amiga, mod scene back in the day, Stardust and all that. Resogun was obviously their like sort of big Xbox 360, I want to say. No,
PS3. It was like the signature.
Was it a PS4 launch game?
So they did Resogun, I think on PS. So Super Stardust HD was PS3, and then Resogun. I think Resogun was like one of the first, like, I think it was a free PlayStation Plus. I feel like just everyone.
I think it was a launch PS4 game. Am I crazy? Yeah.
So.
I remember playing that when I first moved to San Francisco. All I owned was a bike, and they gave me like a check for moving, and like I think 60% of it went in tax because I didn't have a social security number yet, and I never got that back. But the two things I bought were a PS4 and a bicycle, because I lived in SF, and I was like, those are the two things I need. And I remember playing a lot of Resogun. But Saros is the next one. This one is helmed by Raul Coley of the internet fame, and he's a very well regarded actor these days after spending a lot of time with Funhouse and other folks like that. You've seen his work around the internet, and he plays the protagonist in it. So I wasn't massively a big fan of Returnal. I kind of liked what it was doing, but for whatever reason, the gameplay I fell off. There was like a save game thing, right? I remember when you were talking about it, they patched it, right?
Yeah, Returnal was super cool because it felt very like the aesthetic of it was very like Metroid or Ridley Scott's like Prometheus, like that kind of cool, cold, or like horrific sci-fi, like very
World building was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. But the thing was, it was like I don't know if it was like a roguelite, but it was run based. Where it's like, all right, you I think you get different abilities at different pods when you beat enemies. But the thing that sucked about it is a run could be like 2 hours long and there was no save system. I think there was a checkpoint or a save system, but if you closed the game or went to menu, you lost that. So if you started in PlayStation had rest mode, but you weren't allowed to like boot up another game. And that was at the time I was playing Fortnite the most. So it's like if I started a game of Resogun, played 30 minutes, all my friends want to play Fortnite. Well, I guess I'm done with this run. So it just never allowed you to, you had to commit to this game. And then eventually they patched it where, okay, yeah, you can save in the middle. But by the time they did that patch, like 2 or 3 months later, I had already kind of dropped it.
Burnt out on it. Yeah, that's a shame. I think this sort of, it's a similar type of thing. You kind of like, there is persistent sort of progression that allows you to, sort of upgrade your person. And again, I've not played all that much of this thing, so I don't want to speak on it too much. But a similar type of thing where it is taking sort of the bullet hell mechanics of those top-down games, similar to Returnal in a third-person setting. So you're a character running around, you are getting inundated with bullets. I will say the distance in this feels further back, like the character camera feels further back, the engagement distances feel further back, in the same way that Returnal felt very sort of, what did you call it? Like Prometheus kind of looking. This kind of feels, this almost feels like, oh God.
Is it like Doomish? Because it seems like hell.
I would say like the architecture is very alien almost. Like, again, similar to Prometheus, but like warmer, like sort of Ridley Scott's Sunshine. Was it Ridley Scott? No, it wasn't Ridley Scott who did Sunshine. It was
Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle, sorry, yeah. Danny Boyle's Sunshine, very, very sort of wet heat sun. It has this ethereal voice in your head that's talking to you. The acting and the cutscenes and acting I've seen so far and the story stuff is super, like, confident is the word I would use. This game drips confidence. The soundtrack, the world building, the sound effects. I sat down and I swear to God, within 5 minutes, I was like, this game fucking slaps. Like, this game knows exactly how it wants you to feel. That, like, I don't have like a really good like sound system or anything, and this thing was like, the bass was like rattling my spine. The enemy designs are weird and freakish. It feels very otherworldly. It feels intimidating. The mechanisms are a lot of like, you're dashing to get through certain shields and bullets. You're using your bubble shield to get through stuff. There are upgrades that I obviously haven't gotten to yet about different weapons and stuff like that. The central mystery of the game feels really interesting and dark. So like I said, I've only played between, I don't know, maybe an hour and two, kind of like 2 hour, maybe around then of it. But I really, really, really liked the vibe of it. So I'm sure the reviews are going to be out now and people will tell you whether or not it's good or not, top to bottom. But yeah, you play a game and you're like, and I feel like Housemarque does this where their games feel like, oh, this is like sucking every ounce of power from the PlayStation. You know what I mean? This game is like looks and sounds great. The feedback on the controller is dialed in, so there's a lot of that resistance on the trigger stuff going on. I like, and the story stuff is the part that, like, I think Returnal was interesting and cool and had some bits, but like this narratively, I don't know where it goes, and I don't know if it sticks to landing. But the opening, like, I was gripped from the whole thing. Like, I don't know, it really grabbed my chest in a way that felt like, yeah, this game knows what it's doing. It's really great when you play a story and you know that the creators have confidence in it because they're making daring decisions and it feels like they know exactly what they're doing and you feel like you trust them. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is a real first couple of hours of the game kind of situation, but I was into it.
Is it permanent progression? I saw like on the gameplay stuff, there's like, you're collecting some currency and there's skill trees. Is this another run-based thing or is it permanent?
As far as I know, I don't know if it flips it up or anything, but yeah, as far as I know, it is a similar style thing. I assume like in Returnal, you are opening up different areas that you can go in from the start. I have not played enough to. It's also difficult. You know, the game, I think, introduces you pretty good into. It's not like immediately punishing, but I am assuming that it gets hard. This is not a review. This is me having played the first like couple of hours of it. But yeah, I suspect like Housemarque doesn't make games that are easy, so I suspect it gets pretty tricky.
So yeah, so I can see. Okay, so it is you're unlocking stuff for subsequent playthroughs that will make it a little easier. So even if you die, you I know.
Oh no, yeah, there is a permanent progression system in it for sure. Yeah, I think it's his weapon that he has this sort of like arm thing that shoots all the weapons and shoots the bullets into the hell, and that's Saros, S-A-R-O-S. It's not a letter. Saros. I always want to call it Soros, like S-O-R-S, but it's not. It's like Saros. A dinosaur. Soros. Is that what's Soros? Yeah, like a Saurus, Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
Housemarquesaurus. Housemarquesaurus. Check it out now. Do you know how much it is? Is it full price?
I'm assuming 6. I can look it up for a second.
I think you can play it early if you get like the you pay an extra $10, get it early kind of thing. I think they're doing that thing. I think.
Let me see.
If I was a real journalist, I would have looked this up.
70.
Is it $70?
Yeah. But that's the price of an eternal solar eclipse.
Wow. Stick that on the box, Frank Howley. That's good because it's not really a qualitative judgment. It's just.
Do you want to be on a planet and experience a solar eclipse that's melting everything? I mean, that sounds cool.
Probably not, actually. I'd probably not do that for free, honestly. But hey, dear listener, you can make whatever decisions you want. And that's a podcast because I'm terrified that Frank's thing is going to turn off. Thank you much for let's try that again. Thank you very much for listening. There's some stuff coming up on Noclip and Noclip 2. There's been a bunch. There's more coming. And we will talk to you next week. See you, Frank.
Bye.
Bye.